Alright, so hey, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, eh? Like, I'm actually like really quite annoyed and really quite fucking just. Anyway, the reason that I have these emotions is because I made a joke. I made a fucking joke. Because I believe that we all have a past, but we should be able to fucking laugh about it and not take it too seriously. Um, because that is the past. It does not mean that it is a current. So, what I don't understand is why everybody else wants to take versions of you that aren't even you anymore. I'm talking as a generalized whole of the human population, by the way, that aren't even you anymore, and then use that bullshit against you to discredit your current state. It just, it's honestly just sad and so pathetic. It really bothers me because these people that do that and create this stigma, a stereotype, and discrimination by using things that are outdated versions of you to essentially like make you feel so shit and drag you back to being that person that you were. And it's just none of it's okay. It's really not. So, for example, you know, there was a what would you call it? I guess it's the same sort of thing as malpractice. If you don't believe that the system is designed to keep you in your fucking category, God, you are so wrong. You don't have the same opportunity for jobs, regardless of how long it has been. You don't have the same opportunity of social respect. Here's the thing though, being poverty line or lower class, lower middle class and poverty line, you have to do certain things in order to keep yourself and your family safe. Because when you are in that line, that financial fucking category, you are harassed and bullied because they assume that you are automatically going to behave this way. And they design it so that you have to. They only give you enough to barely survive. Yet they don't provide help in regards to furthering education. Or they don't provide help in regards to, like, fuck, what you call it, achieving getting a car and shit like that. I'm talking about like the real issues. There are so many things that you can't do. One of those things is save up. When you are poverty line and lower middle class, you can't save up because you barely have enough money for necessities. You'll be lucky some weeks if you can buy fucking toilet paper. Imagine that. I'm not joking. Okay? I'm really not. But they don't redistribute the wealth. They don't provide, incentive. They don't spend a little money to make a lot. Nah, they just tell these people they're shit, that's it, they're forgotten about. I'm really not joking. And there will be so much evidence supporting this because I've lived it. And that's in New Zealand, where we're pretty fucking good. I couldn't imagine for a minute being in America in that situation, purely because even people on welfare with a job, like have a job with the top up of welfare, still have to get fucking food stamps apparently. What the fuck is that? The minimum wage in some places, you have to rely on tips to make enough money each week to meet basic living costs. You tell me right now that that system is not designed to keep you in a category. Meanwhile, people with money, because they look a certain way. I'm not joking. Aesthetics are everything in this world. I know this because I have deliberately, my entire life, gone against the fucking grain, and I have paid the price. And you all know it. It's so much bullshit. Once you are in the system, do you remember when I first got admitted to mental health, I pled insanity so that I didn't go to prison? Once I was in the system, bang, next year, no, not even that, 6 months later, good behavior, following the rules. I was debatable and opinionated and, pain in the ass, sure. But um, I wasn't, eluding? No. Exuding any behaviors that were essentially falling under the category of needing a further assistance. Yet I was treated like I was. I got told that I was still a danger to society after a year of being a model fucking citizen by a nurse that I had met once for 15 minutes. You want to tell me how the fucking nurse that I have met once for 15 minutes has the capacity, let alone the fucking audacity, to say that I am a danger to society because I chose to not get my injection for like 2-3 days prior to my court case? That court case was in regards to getting myself out of the system. Why would I take it and have that in my body for another month? And because I chose to wait 3 days, I was labelled a danger to society. And then, I can't remember the exact timelines, but remember for my 3-year YouTube anniversary, I got locked up for no fucking reason? Oh, right. Because I wasn't provided the correct information that I needed and asked for. They don't provide the information. Next day they're knocking on my door. You gotta come with us, you have no choice. Bitch, I'm sorry, what? Then I get there, I get admitted, my court case gets dropped. Okay, well that means I can go home, right? Oh no, you gotta stay. What clause? What reason? You guys were there for the whole thing. You tell me right now that the system is not designed to make people sick, to keep people sick so they can treat you any way they like, and you are too tired being in fucking survival mode to do anything about it. So when people choose in the lower middle class and poverty bracket financially to say fuck you to the system that is literally being enforced to actually oppress people, I'm not joking on that one. You gonna have the fucking audacity to judge somebody for something they did, or a mis fucking representation of authority, corrupt system, by the way, fucking forced them to do, even though there was no legal clause, there was no rationale, there was no objectivity. Actually, the judge was more likely to be required to put in prison for those three things rather than what that person was originally there for. So, because I have a previous history of being detained against my will in a facility, whether that be a mental health facility or a prison, I'm a little bit worked up because this is some bullshit. So because of that, you're gonna look at me like I'm fucking lesser than? What gives you the fucking right to compare yourself against me? What gives you the right to compare yourself against anybody else? Especially when it's from past actions, not current. People grow, people change. Just because you don't doesn't mean that people who have lived in situations that were muting us. When we have the chance to stop being muted, we change, we grow. You can't judge people for who they were 6 months to a year ago, because it's no longer fucking relevant unless they have deliberately remained stagnant. It's not really in human nature to deliberately remain stagnant. Like, psychologically and biologically, the only thing this earth actually does is grow. I'm over people fucking judging other people for stupid shit. When you are in the middle class, or lower middle class, or poverty bracket financially, you don't have the same access to infrastructure. This is proven. There's evidence. Supermarkets are harder to come by. Petrol stations are harder to come by. Medical centres are harder to come by. Bus stops. Public transport in general. You basically have to rely on dairies, man. Dairies. How well would you do for a month pretty much having to buy your fucking groceries from the dairy because A, you're not making enough money to be able to save up for a car, let alone be able to drive it all the way to the fucking petrol station and back because it's so far away, and then drive all the way to work? Like, come the fuck on, people. It's why a lot of people don't get jobs when they're in that fucking category or living in those areas. Because even if they did get a job, they'd only be making like $20 more. I'm not kidding. It's a fucking terribly designed system. And I am sick of people who choose to go out and take their lives under their own control. And yeah, in order to survive in a lot of these fucking climates, to save up enough money to get just one category higher so it's not quite so fucking horrific, results in fucking illegal activity. Usually drugs or alcohol related. You know why? Oh, you know what's real funny though? Here's the kicker about the system. There is a fucking liquor store in walking distance pretty much fucking everywhere. You tell me right now that is not a fucking design. I'm not joking. So pretty much, when you have no fucking money, you are bored fucking shitless. And then your mental health fucking depletes and plummets into nothingness. You start feeling like an absolute piece of shit because why can't I help myself get better and out of this category? Even though the entire fucking system is designed to keep you down. But it's somehow our fault? Yeah, doing the dumb thing was our fault. But when you are subliminally fucking brainwashed from birth to have to live by a different code because the police are usually more corrupt and nastier, I'm not joking, and more likely to enforce a misuse of power and bullying and harassment in poverty-stricken areas. I'm not joking. They don't want to be there because it's ugly. They're resentful that they have to deal with this shit in the fucking first place. So by the time an actual incident happens, they can't be fucked because they're not getting paid enough to work in this ugly, shitty town. Why do you think my focus is redistribution of wealth? You guys fucking owe the person in my previous video a fucking apology. I have given mine. I was stupid enough to believe that people weren't retarded. My bad. It was a light-hearted, humorous attempt at connecting through trauma and making somebody, including myself, feel a little bit less shit about their life. But fuck us, right? We're the problem. Yeah, how? Now, before anybody fucking suggests that I am making excuses for criminal behavior, etc., etc., I'm not making excuses for criminal behavior. But I am making an exception of past criminal behavior. And I think that's fucking fair, don't you? Considering everything I've just told you. We're only halfway through, by the way. I'm gonna upload this to fucking Messenger.